Welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Glad you could join me here today. As always, welcome to my new subscribers. Smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out my website at marksinspiration.com if you'd like to know a little more about me and what I do. What I do is come here and share things with you that hopefully will be of value to you that you can use in your daily life. Life has many aspects and many different situations you will encounter in your life, and I've encountered a lot of them. Not all of them, of course. There are many things I haven't done, but at 61 years old, I've had a lot of adventurous experiences. So I share them with you in a way that I hope will help you sometime when you happen to run into something in your life, and you can relate it to what I have shared with you, and you can use what I've learned to help you accomplish or get through or rise to the challenges you are certainly going to meet in your life. So today we are getting back to The Power Is Within. This is series 20, I believe, and we are on location 372 in the ebook. And we're starting at The Longer You Stay on It. I wrote this book to inspire you, to encourage you, to help you to understand that your thoughts create your world. What you're thinking leads to what you're doing, your actions, and your actions create what happens in your life. But it all begins with your thoughts. I don't know why people find that so hard to believe. Because it's subjective and you can't see a thought. You actually can't see a thought. Or can you? Look around you. Everything created by man was first created in the imagination, from a thought. From a thought which created a word picture, a picture within your mind. And from that and the continuous thinking on that certain thought, the things that you see were created. They started with a thought. A thought is a seed. So we will continue with The Power Is Within. You can pick that up on Amazon if you'd like. It's a good book. $9.99, I think, for the hard copy or soft cover. And the ebook is $2.99 or $3.99. I can't remember. But check it out. Okay, here we go. I talk about the path, this path that I have been on. Your path is different from mine, of course, but it is the path to, let's say, enlightenment, for lack of a better word. Everybody is enlightened, but they're at different levels. I don't even like to use the word levels because that signifies that some people are more enlightened than others. Everybody is where they are, exactly where they're supposed to be, perfect. So no one is better than anybody else in that respect, but some people more has been revealed to some people than others. And for those who more has been revealed to, they have a responsibility to help others who want to grow and to become more aware, let's say. So here we go, talking about the path. The longer you stay on it, the more you grow. The more you grow, the more you change. The more you change, the stronger you become. That reminds me of the quote, "He who conquers himself is greater than he who conquers the city." And that is very true. Eventually you look back and think, who is that person I used to be? If you can't look back a year ago and laugh at some of the things you were doing or feel a little embarrassed at some of the things you were doing, then you're not growing. You should always be able to look back and think, man, I can't believe I did that. Or, gee whiz, that seems a little embarrassing. That's the wonder of social media. I make a video today, and a year I look back and I think, man, what was I talking about there? So I should be growing. I should be able to look back and see how I have changed. Many times other people notice the change in you before you see it. To get there takes a different kind of resiliency for everyone. But in the end, there's one thing in common for anyone who wants to move forward. You have to be willing to surrender to the fact that you will never have all the answers and you will never get there. There is no end, only growth, constant growth. You have to be willing to surrender. Okay. There is much to learn about life and truly living in the power that you have available to you. Each bit that you learn and apply unlocks a new area of strength, but also a new realization of just how little you know. I have been on this journey long enough to know that I know a lot and also very little. The older I get, the less I know, because I realize how much there is to know. Do you remember when you were a teenager and you thought you knew everything and your parents were so stupid? And as you get older, you realize, man, my mom and dad were pretty smart. Unfortunately, they're not here today that I can share that with them. But I'm sure they understood, just like I understand that my kids think they know everything and they're never wrong. I was there. I understand how that is. But the older you get, the less you know. And you realize it's much easier to be wrong than it is to fight and be right. Would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? For 31 or 2 years of my life, I was always right. How can it be? How can you always be right? Well, and if I was wrong, it was because you or someone else gave me the wrong information. No, I'm being facetious, but I just would never admit that I was wrong. Today, I realize it's easier to be wrong than to fight to prove that you're right. Because a man convinced against his will is a man of the same opinion still. So if you argue with someone and prove your point, you've just made an enemy. And they're not going to change their mind. So what do you win? What's the victory there? There's no victory. Okay, I am even willing at any point to change my mind about any or everything I believed at any point prior. That's part of the journey, giving up the pride in belief and being right, surrendering to the revelations that you will have along the way. That's why I don't represent anything in this book as teachings that I have developed or invented or even discovered. These are the principles and precepts of greater men and the lessons I've learned while applying them. I'm just presenting them to you as a guide. Like I said yesterday, don't believe anything I say. Try it. If it works for you, fine. I have read and I continue to read many books, listen to many speakers and many enlightened people, maybe some that aren't so enlightened, or some that I don't believe are enlightened, but maybe are more enlightened than I think they are more aware. Whichever word you choose to use. Because some of the methods and things that I have tried worked, some work for a while, I discard them, and then I come back to them and they work again. There are many forms of meditation you can use. Okay, some work well for others. I've tried many. Some work for a while, some don't. So I change and I switch. But try different methods and find one that works for you. We are each individuals and we have our own unique way of moving through life, and there are certain ways and methods that work well for one person and not so well for the other. So I'm just offering you my experience, sharing it with you, and you can try what I share with you, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, go on to someone else, and maybe they have a method that will work for you. Or you can take all the different methods and create your own method. Whatever works for you that gets you, helps you to achieve and maintain that conscious contact with your higher self, your higher power, or God if you like. I hope you can gain what I have gained and then move beyond it. You will undoubtedly learn your own lessons, and I hope you'll share them in your turn. Back in my drug-using days, every time I would stumble upon a new drug that gave me a new experience, I would get so excited and I'd want to share it with my friends. I'd want them to feel as good as I felt, and as I shared it with them, I'd get to see them going through the same experience, that same next level of being high. I liken this book to those experiences, the heightening of what is possible one step at a time and the desire to share it with others. My other book is more about my story, whereas this is more about the principles that guided that story, the same ones which guide the universe. Yes, my other book, Coming Back Home, The True Adventure of Mark Daniels, is available on Amazon, and I shared my life experiences there to show you that no matter how many times you get knocked down or how bad you feel about yourself or how you feel like you're not good enough, if you just keep getting back up and never giving up, you can achieve what you came here to achieve. Don't give up on life. Life can be tough. It'll knock you down. Most of the problems you have in life, if not all, are created from within yourself. If they're created from within yourself, then the answers can also come from within you. And that's where they lie, within yourself. If you can quit blaming other people and look within, then you are not a victim. We have a lot of this victim mindset these days. It's everybody else's fault. One that comes to mind is the commercial from the lawyers. If you've been hurt at your job, it's not your fault. Well, whose fault is it? Unless they had faulty equipment. But if you slipped and fell and you weren't paying attention, or you were jerking around the job and you got hurt, guess what? It's your fault. I've been hurt on the job when I did work for other people a couple times. It was my fault, carelessness. I wasn't paying attention. But that was a different time. Now it's like so many people want to play the victim and want to blame someone else. But you are not a victim, or you would not be here. Be a victor in life. Don't be a victim. It's your choice. It really is. Okay. We've all heard terms like universal laws or laws of the universe. Things like what goes around comes around. You reap what you sow, karma, and so forth. There are as many phrases to describe them as there are people living within them. Most people sort of believe them in some way or another, but relatively few, I went a little too far there, relatively few believe them as actual concrete laws. There are many reasons for this, but I think it's likely that the most common one is that these principles generally don't punish or reward right away. It takes time. On the one hand, the person does something they know they shouldn't have, is left to believe they've gotten away with it more often than not. And the person that has done good believes their act has gone unnoticed, unrewarded, or without impact. The truth is, and make no mistake of it, whatever you put out in the universe is what the universe sends back to you. You cannot escape the laws of the universe. There is no escape. You think it doesn't come back? If you look back on your past and take out the word blame and put in it, I am responsible, you can see how these things have come back to you, good and bad. The problem is a lot of times we think they're going to come back to us from the person we did it to or from the person we gave to. But as I said, make no mistake about it. Everything comes back. If you're thinking bad about someone, someone will think badly about you. Try not to think badly about other people or criticize or condemn or judge other people, because that too will come back to you in some way, form, shape, or another. I don't know how that works, but that's how it works. I think Elon Musk was talking about how this life or this world or our experience here might even be a computer simulation, like a computer simulation. I tend to believe that it's sort of a hologram, or that this is like a dream, like some of the old mystics used to say. It's just amazing how things happen if you become aware. There are no coincidences. Everything is created within the mind of man. Everything you see, you touch, you feel, everything you experience with your senses was first created within the mind of man, or the mind of God, if you like. I gotta go. That's all we got time for today. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow.